In the boundless expanse of the cosmos, where stars are born and die in spectacular infernos, there existed a civilization so advanced and so powerful that their name echoed across the galaxies like a thunderous decree. The Zorqual. These beings, towering and imposing with a presence as commanding as the black holes that dotted their empire, had forged an interstellar dominion unmatched in scale and might. Their technology, a blend of organic and synthetic marvels, had reached such a pinnacle that it seemed to bend the very fabric of reality to their will. The Zorqual were not just architects of their own destiny, but were considered the unchallenged guardians of the cosmic order. Their empire, a sprawling network of star systems interconnected by wormholes and quantum bridges, was a testament to their engineering prowess and strategic acumen. They had encountered numerous species in their relentless expansion across the stars, some of whom they uplifted as vassals, while others were simply brushed aside, unable to withstand the overwhelming force of the Zorqual. Despite their might, the Zorqual were not tyrants. They followed a strict code of ethics which, although alien to many, dictated their actions and decisions. This code emphasized balance and order, viewing the universe as an intricate tapestry of interwoven destinies. Their leaders, the High Conclave, were both feared and revered, possessing wisdom and knowledge accumulated over millennia. Yet for all their grandeur and sophistication, the Zorqual were unaware of a nascent civilization burgeoning on the edge of their colossal empire, a species called humanity. Humans, with their fledgling interstellar presence and untested resolve, were about to cross paths with the galactic giants, setting the stage for a saga that would unravel the very notions of invincibility and supremacy. As the Zorqual continued their age-old rituals and their ships traversed the cosmic lanes, maintaining the order they had so meticulously established, a series of anomalous signals caught their attention. These signals, crude and unrefined compared to the sophisticated communications of the Zorqual, were the first whispers of humanity reaching into the vast unknown, yearning to discover and connect. The Zorqual, ever curious and bound by their code to investigate anomalies that could disrupt the cosmic balance, dispatched one of their mighty exploratory fleets towards the source of the signals. The stars had always been a source of mystery and inspiration for humanity, a canvas on which to paint their dreams and ambitions. Now, as the human race ventured beyond the confines of their solar system, the stars were a backdrop to their reality, an ever-expanding frontier of discovery and exploration. The vessel Pioneer Spirit a sleek and advanced exploration ship, glided through the void, its crew a mix of seasoned astronauts and eager scientists, all united by a common goal, to chart the unexplored territories of the galaxy. Their mission was one of peace and curiosity, emblematic of humanity's thirst for knowledge and understanding. As the ship approached a seemingly unremarkable star system on the edge of known space, sensors picked up an anomaly, an artificial structure orbiting a desolate planet. The discovery sent a ripple of excitement through the crew. Artificial structures meant intelligence, and intelligence meant they were not alone in the universe. Captain Elena Mendoza, a veteran of space exploration, felt a mixture of exhilaration and apprehension. Contacting another intelligent species was the dream of every space explorer, but it came with risks. Communication, intentions, and cultural differences posed significant challenges. With cautious optimism, the Pioneer Spirit approached the alien outpost. The structure was unlike anything humanity had engineered. It was vast, with geometric patterns and surfaces that seemed to absorb light, giving it an ethereal presence against the backdrop of space. Initial attempts at communication were met with silence. The crew scanned the outpost, finding no life signs but plenty of activity, machines and automated systems operating with purpose and precision. It was clear that the outpost was not abandoned, just uninhabited at the moment. The decision was made to send a small team to the outpost, led by Dr. Lisa Nguyen, a brilliant linguist and cultural anthropologist. Accompanied by security personnel and scientists, the team docked with the alien structure, stepping into a world beyond human comprehension. Inside, they found a trove of technology and information. Screens displayed star maps, alien script, and data in a format they couldn't immediately understand. Dr. Nguyen began the painstaking work of deciphering the language, hoping to unlock the secrets of the outpost's inhabitants. Then, without warning, the outpost came to life. Holographic projections filled the air, and a voice, synthetic yet imbued with a hint of emotion, addressed the intruders. The Zorqual had made their presence known, not in person but through their technology, observing the humans with a curiosity that mirrored their own. The voice, speaking in a language they could not understand, was both a greeting and a warning. The humans had stepped into a realm far beyond their current grasp, a domain where the Zorqual reigned supreme. Back on the Pioneer Spirit Captain Mendoza and her crew listened intently to the transmission. The encounter had escalated from exploration to a diplomatic mission, with the weight of humanity's first impression on their shoulders. As they prepared to respond, to bridge the gulf of silence and misunderstanding, they knew the galaxy was watching. In this moment, on the edge of the unknown, humanity and the Zorqual stood at the threshold of a new chapter in their cosmic journey, one fraught with potential and peril. The encounter with the Zorqual outpost marked a turning point for humanity's journey among the stars. The crew of the Pioneer Spirit returned to Earth, carrying with them the first tangible evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence. The news of the encounter spread like wildfire, igniting a mixture of excitement, fear, and curiosity across the globe. While linguists and scientists worked tirelessly to decipher the messages received during the encounter, diplomatic channels buzzed with activity. Humanity was eager to establish peaceful relations with the Zorqual, but the lack of a clear response from the alien civilization created an atmosphere of tension and uncertainty. Several months passed with no significant breakthroughs in communication. The Zorqual remained an enigma, their intentions and capabilities shrouded in mystery. Humanity's initial excitement began to wane, replaced by a growing sense of unease. Amidst this backdrop, a new mission was launched, this time with a more diverse coalition of international and private space agencies. The goal was to establish a forward observation post near the Zorqual's territory to monitor their activities and hopefully find a way to initiate meaningful dialogue. The mission, however, took an unexpected turn. The human fleet stumbled upon a Zorqual patrol unit in a disputed region of space. The encounter was tense, with both sides on high alert. Communication attempts were met with static, and the standoff escalated rapidly. In a moment of confusion and fear, a trigger-happy pilot fired upon the Zorqual ships, igniting a brief but intense skirmish. The Zorqual's technological superiority was evident, their ships swiftly disabling the human fleet without suffering any casualties themselves. The incident, later known as the Epsilon Sector Skirmish, was a stark reminder of the vast gap between human and Zorqual capabilities. The Zorqual fleet departed without further aggression, leaving behind a humiliated and battered human contingent. Back on Earth, the skirmish sparked a fierce debate. Some called for increased military preparedness, fearing that the Zorqual might view the incident as an act of war. Others advocated for a more cautious approach, emphasizing the need for diplomacy and understanding. Amidst this turmoil, a small team of linguists made a breakthrough. They partially decoded the Zorqual language, uncovering snippets of their transmissions. The messages were fragmented, but one thing became clear. The Zorqual viewed humanity as an emerging, potentially disruptive force in the galaxy. The revelation was a double-edged sword. On one hand, it confirmed the Zorqual's awareness and interest in humanity. On the other, it hinted at a complex interstellar dynamic, with humanity unwittingly stepping into a larger, more intricate galactic stage. As Earth's leaders grappled with their next move, the Zorqual continued their inscrutable activities, seemingly indifferent to the burgeoning crisis. But beneath the surface, the gears of diplomacy and strategy were turning, setting the stage for a confrontation that could define the future of human interstellar endeavors. In the aftermath of the Epsilon Sector skirmish, humanity found itself at a crossroads. The incident had exposed the fragility of their position in the cosmic hierarchy, and the response from Earth's governments was swift and decisive. Military budgets ballooned, and alliances were forged as humanity braced for a potential conflict with the Zorqual, a species that until now had been an abstract concept, distant and detached from daily life. The United Nations established the Terran Space Defense Coalition, TSDC, a unified command structure to coordinate Earth's response to extraterrestrial threats. Nations that had once been rivals on Earth's geopolitical stage now found common ground in the face of a shared, otherworldly potential adversary. The Zorqual's silence in the wake of the skirmish was deafening. No attempts at communication, no gestures of peace or aggression. This enigmatic stance only fueled the fires of speculation and planning on Earth. Meanwhile, in the halls of academia and research, efforts to understand the Zorqual intensified. Scientists pored over the data gathered during the brief encounters, and linguists worked around the clock to decipher the complex Zorqual language. Every scrap of information was a piece of the puzzle, a clue to understanding the motivations and culture of this alien civilization. But it was not just the military and scientific communities that were mobilized. The general populace, once indifferent to the stars, now looked up with a mix of fear, wonder, and resolve. The media was ablaze with discussions about the Zorqual, and popular culture was saturated with representations of the alien species, some fearful, some hopeful, all speculative. As Earth prepared for the unknown, a small group of diplomats and scholars proposed an alternative approach, a mission aimed at establishing a peaceful dialogue with the Zorqual. This initiative, dubbed Project Beacon, was a controversial one, seen by some as naive and by others as the only sane response to a potential galactic-scale conflict. Project Beacon's approach was multifaceted. They sent out messages in the Zorqual language, broadcasting peaceful intentions and a desire for dialogue. They also prepared a diplomatic envoy, a team of experts in various fields, ready to engage with the Zorqual should the opportunity arise. Months turned into years, and the tension between preparation for war and hope for peace defined humanity's stance. The Zorqual, for their part, remained an enigma, their sprawling empire just beyond the reach of human understanding, their actions unpredictable. Then, as if responding to humanity's growing unease, the Zorqual made their move. A fleet, larger and more advanced than any seen before, entered a system close to human-occupied space. Their intentions were unclear, but their message was not. The Zorqual Empire was no longer content to watch from afar. Humanity's response was a mixture of fear, defiance, and determination. The TSDC mobilized, and Project Beacon intensified its efforts to communicate. The world watched, holding its breath, as the future of human-Zorqual relations, and perhaps the fate of humanity itself, hung in the balance, teetering on the edge of a knife that could either forge a new path of coexistence or cut deeply into the fabric of interstellar peace. The sudden appearance of the Zorqual fleet near human space acted as a catalyst, transforming the simmering tensions into a palpable sense of urgency. The TSDC, under the leadership of Admiral Maria Vasquez, a seasoned officer with a strategic mind, coordinated Earth's defenses while maintaining a vigilant watch on the Zorqual's movements. The fleet's presence was ominous, but their intentions remained inscrutable, adding a layer of psychological warfare to the already tense atmosphere. On Earth and its colonies, civilians and soldiers alike felt the weight of the impending conflict. Propaganda and media broadcasts painted the Zorqual as formidable adversaries, urging every human to contribute to the war effort in any way they could. Despite the fear, a sense of unity pervaded, with humanity banding together in the face of a common enemy. Amidst this, Project Beacon continued its attempts to establish communication with the Zorqual. Dr. Eleanor Joe, the project's lead linguist, became a prominent figure, representing the voice of diplomacy and reason. Her team worked tirelessly, sending complex messages designed to convey peaceful intent and a desire for mutual understanding. The Zorqual, however, remained silent, their fleet's silent vigil in space a constant reminder of the potential for a catastrophic confrontation. Analysts speculated about their motives, but without direct communication, their strategies and intentions were a puzzle with too many missing pieces. As the TSDC fortified strategic locations and developed new technologies to counter the perceived Zorqual threat, a different kind of preparation was happening among the civilian population. Communities organized, shelters were built, and emergency protocols were established. The prospect of war brought out both the best and worst in humanity, with acts of incredible solidarity contrasting with outbreaks of panic and fear. In a bold strategic move, Admiral Vasquez deployed a series of reconnaissance missions to gather intelligence on the Zorqual fleet. These missions, fraught with danger, provided critical insights into the Zorqual's technology and fleet composition, but also heightened the risk of provoking an aggressive response. One such mission, led by Captain Lucas Kim, brought back a wealth of data but at a great cost. The reconnaissance vessel was detected and barely escaped destruction, limping back to friendly space with critical damage and casualties. The incident served as a stark reminder of the Zorqual's advanced capabilities and the immense challenge facing humanity. As the TSDC analyzed the data, a picture began to emerge of a civilization with technology far surpassing humanity's current level, but also with its own vulnerabilities and constraints. This information became a beacon of hope, a possible key to leveling the playing field in the event of a conflict. With the Zorqual fleet's intentions still unclear, humanity stood on the brink, preparing for a confrontation that could either usher in a new era of interstellar relations or plunge them into a war of unprecedented scale and ferocity. The tension was palpable, with every citizen of the galaxy watching, waiting, and hoping for a future where peace might still be possible. The uneasy stalemate between humanity and the Zorqual finally broke when a human mining colony on a remote planet detected an approaching Zorqual fleet. This planet, rich in rare minerals, was crucial to the human war effort, making its defense a top priority. Admiral Vasquez ordered a significant portion of the Terran Space Defense Coalition fleet to the system, setting the stage for the first major conflict between the two civilizations. As the Zorqual fleet entered the system, their ships' advanced designs and weaponry were on full display, dwarfing the human ships in both size and technological sophistication. Despite this, the human forces were determined, buoyed by a sense of unity and the belief that their ingenuity and resolve could overcome the odds. The battle began with a series of probing attacks by the human forces, testing the Zorqual's defenses and tactics. These skirmishes revealed that while the Zorqual ships were powerful, they relied heavily on predictable patterns and strategies. Human commanders quickly adapted, employing guerrilla tactics, leveraging the system's asteroid belt for cover, and targeting key Zorqual vessels. On Earth and other human worlds, the population watched the battle through live feeds, their collective breath held as they witnessed humanity's first real test against a galactic superpower. The conflict was not just a military engagement, but a pivotal moment in human history, defining their place in the cosmic order. Amid the chaos of battle, a small team led by Dr. Joe, aboard the diplomatic vessel *Harmony*, attempted to communicate with the Zorqual fleet. Using the partially decoded Zorqual language, they broadcast messages of peace and proposed a ceasefire. However, their efforts were met with silence, the Zorqual's focus remaining squarely on the ongoing conflict. The turning point in the battle came when Captain Kim, leveraging intelligence gathered from previous encounters, led a daring assault on the Zorqual's flagship. The operation exposed a critical vulnerability in the Zorqual's shield technology, which human engineers had managed to decipher and exploit. This bold move shifted the battle's momentum, causing confusion and disarray within the Zorqual fleet. In the end, the Zorqual were forced to retreat, their invincibility shattered by human ingenuity and resilience. The victory was celebrated across human-controlled space, a beacon of hope that perhaps the tide could turn in their favor. However, the aftermath of the battle was sobering. The human fleet had suffered significant losses, and the mining colony was heavily damaged. The victory, while significant, highlighted the long and arduous struggle ahead. In the Zorqual's wake, the humans recovered debris from the battlefield, analyzing it to glean further insights into their technology. This information would be crucial for future encounters, as it was clear that the war was far from over. Humanity had proven its ability to stand up to the Zorqual, but the victory was a reminder of the vast gulf that still existed between the two civilizations. As the dust settled, the leaders of Earth and the TSDC began planning their next steps, aware that the Zorqual would not take this defeat lightly, and that the true test of humanity's place among the stars was just beginning. Following the unexpected victory, humanity's morale soared. Across planets and space stations, citizens celebrated the courage and tactical brilliance of their defenders. Yet, this victory did not come without cost. The aftermath of the battle left a tangible mark on the human collective psyche, as the reality of war, with its casualties and destruction, settled in. In the wake of the battle, stories of individual heroism and sacrifice emerged, capturing the hearts of people across human-controlled space. One such story was that of Lieutenant Aria Martinez, a fighter pilot who, during a critical moment in the battle, sacrificed her ship and her life to prevent a Zorkwall cruiser from destroying a civilian evacuation transport. Her story, among others, became a symbol of human resilience and sacrifice, celebrated in broadcasts and memorials. The narrative shifted focus to the ground, to the mining colony that had been at the epicenter of the conflict. Despite the orbital victory, the colony's infrastructure was devastated, and its population was in dire straits. Emergency relief efforts were underway, with aid ships from various human territories arriving to provide support and supplies. Among the relief workers was Dr. Simon Chen, a medical doctor who had volunteered to help the injured and traumatized colonists. His story, a poignant tale of compassion amidst chaos, provided a different perspective on the war. Through his eyes, readers witnessed the human capacity for empathy and cooperation, as individuals from diverse backgrounds came together to rebuild and heal. Meanwhile, the Zorkwall's retreat did not signify their defeat. Analysts and military strategists warned that this was likely just the beginning of a protracted conflict. The Zorkwall had underestimated humanity's capabilities, and their next move would undoubtedly be more calculated and ruthless. In response, humanity began to fortify its positions, not just militarily, but also culturally. The war had ignited a newfound sense of unity and identity among the scattered human colonies. This collective spirit was harnessed not only for defense, but also to foster innovation and collaboration in various fields, from technology to diplomacy. The TSDC, recognizing the need for a multifaceted approach to the conflict, expanded its strategies. This included not only enhancing military preparedness, but also investing in long-term projects to secure humanity's future, regardless of the war's outcome. Among these were initiatives to establish self-sustaining colonies in deep space, develop new technologies, and importantly, continue efforts to communicate with the Zorkwall, seeking a peaceful resolution. As humanity braced for the next phase of the conflict, the stories of individuals like Lieutenant Martinez and Dr. Chen served as reminders of what was at stake. Not just the survival of humanity, but the preservation of the values and ideals that defined their civilization. After their initial victory, humanity's strategic focus intensified. The Terran Space Defense Coalition, TSDC, spearheaded the development of new technologies and strategies, learning from the recovered Zorkwall debris and their own experiences in combat. This period of innovation was not just about weapons, it was also about enhancing communication, logistics, and reconnaissance to build a more resilient defense network across human-controlled space. Admiral Vasquez, leveraging the momentum from the recent victory, initiated a series of strategic operations designed to protect key human colonies and secure vital resources. These operations were not just military in nature, but also involved significant diplomatic efforts to unify various human factions and ensure a coordinated response to the Zorkwall threat. Meanwhile, the Zorkwall, having reassessed their approach, began to adapt their tactics. Their next wave of engagements demonstrated a newfound respect for human capabilities. They deployed advanced scout ships, employing hit-and-run tactics and avoiding direct confrontations with the main human fleets. This shift in strategy forced the TSDC to adapt, leading to a tense game of cosmic cat and mouse. In this evolving battlefield, Captain Lucas Kim emerged as a pivotal figure. His ingenuity and daring had turned the tide in the previous battle, and now he led a specialized task force designed to counter the Zorkwall's new tactics. Under his command, this task force executed a series of successful operations that not only thwarted Zorkwall advances, but also captured critical intelligence about their technology and battle plans. One of the most significant breakthroughs came when human forces intercepted a Zorkwall communication relay, decoding a trove of data that provided insights into their strategic objectives and weaknesses. This intelligence proved invaluable, enabling the TSDC to anticipate and counter Zorkwall moves with unprecedented precision. On the civilian front, the war effort galvanized human innovation in various sectors. Researchers and engineers developed new energy sources, faster-than-light communication systems, and advanced medical technologies. These advancements were not only vital for the war effort, but also promised to revolutionize human society in peacetime. As the narrative unfolded, the focus shifted to a critical battle where the tide of war began to turn. Using the intelligence gathered, human forces ambushed a major Zorkwall fleet in a strategically important system. The battle was fierce, with significant losses on both sides, but the humans emerged victorious, capturing several Zorkwall ships and gaining a wealth of technological insights. This victory marked a turning point in the conflict. For the first time, the Zorkwall's aura of invincibility was shattered, not just in the eyes of humanity but across the galaxy. Other civilizations, previously neutral or subdued by the Zorkwall, began to view humanity as a beacon of resistance and hope. The tide of war may have turned, but the Zorkwall Empire, shaken by their recent defeats, orchestrated a response of unprecedented scale. Their target, Sol, the cradle of humanity. A massive Zorkwall armada, larger than any seen before, advanced towards Earth, intent on delivering a decisive blow to human morale and capability. Admiral Vasquez, recognizing the gravity of the threat, rallied the TSDC, forming a defensive bulwark around Earth and its neighboring colonies. Every available ship was called to defend the Sol system, and even civilian spacecraft were retrofitted for combat or evacuation purposes. The Zorkwall's approach was methodical, capturing or destroying outlying human outposts and gathering intelligence on the TSDC's defenses. Their armada moved like a dark tide through space, its advance seemingly inexorable. On Earth, the imminent threat unified humanity in a way never seen before. Governments and corporations, scientists and soldiers, civilians and commanders all worked with a single purpose: the defense of their home. The planet's surface bristled with newly installed defense platforms, and the skies were patrolled by squadrons of fighters, ready to engage the enemy in Earth's orbit. As the Zorkwall fleet entered the Sol system, a series of fierce battles erupted on multiple fronts. Space around Earth and Mars became a chaotic battlefield, illuminated by the blaze of ship-to-ship combat and the harsh glow of weapons fire. Human forces fought with desperate courage, knowing the fate of their civilization hung in the balance. Captain Lucas Kim, now a prominent figure in the TSDC, led a daring assault on the Zorkwall flagship, aiming to disrupt the enemy's command structure. The mission was perilous, and the cost was high, but it succeeded in sowing confusion among the Zorkwall forces, buying precious time for the defenders. On Earth, civilians watched the skies, their fate tied to the battle raging above them. In these dark hours, the human spirit shone brightly, communities supported each other, and acts of bravery and kindness were commonplace, embodying the resilience of a species fighting for its survival. In a pivotal moment, the Zorkwall Armada, pressing their advantage, broke through the outer defenses and approached Earth. The situation seemed dire, but humanity had one last card to play. Utilizing the intelligence gathered from previous encounters and the technology salvaged from captured Zorkwall ships, the TSDC activated a secret weapon, a network of advanced satellites capable of disrupting Zorkwall shields. As the Zorkwall fleet closed in, the satellites unleashed their power, creating a window of vulnerability in the once impenetrable Zorkwall defenses. Human forces seized the opportunity, launching a counteroffensive that turned the tide of the battle. Zorkwall ships, caught off guard, were decimated, and the remnants of their fleet were forced to retreat. The siege of Sol ended in a hard-fought victory for humanity. The planet had been defended, and the Zorkwall's image as an invincible force was irrevocably shattered. However, the victory was bittersweet. The cost had been immense, with countless lives lost and much of Earth's infrastructure damaged. In the aftermath, humanity faced the task of rebuilding, not just their cities and colonies, but their spirits as well. The war had shown them the depths of their vulnerability and the heights of their courage. As they looked to the stars, now filled with both hope and trepidation, they knew that the conflict was far from over, but they also knew that they had the strength to face whatever came next. The Siege of Sol had a profound impact beyond the confines of the human territories. News of humanity's resolute defense and the Zorqual's retreat echoed across the galaxy, reaching distant civilizations and sparking a shift in the interstellar political landscape. The image of an indomitable Zorqual empire had been tarnished, and across countless worlds, suppressed voices began to whisper of resistance. In the aftermath of the siege, human diplomats, leveraging their newfound status, reached out to other civilizations. These were species that had either suffered under Zorqual dominance or watched from the sidelines, calculating the risks of defiance. The message was clear. Unity was the key to freedom, and the time to act was now. The TSDC, now seen as a beacon of resistance, became the nucleus of a growing alliance. Meetings, held in secret and across subspace channels, laid the groundwork for a coalition of civilizations, each bringing unique strengths and capabilities to the table. The humans shared their knowledge of Zorqual technology and tactics, while their allies contributed their own insights, creating a synergy of resources and intelligence. On Earth and its colonies, the mood was one of cautious optimism. The war was no longer a distant conflict. It had touched the lives of every individual, forging a collective resolve to see the struggle through to its end. This newfound unity transcended old conflicts and rivalries, as humanity recognized the value of their diverse cultures and perspectives in the face of a common enemy. Meanwhile, the Zorqual Empire, recognizing the threat posed by this emerging coalition, intensified its efforts to quell the growing rebellion. They launched a series of brutal crackdowns on dissenting worlds, aiming to sow fear and prevent further defections. However, these actions only fueled the flames of resistance, driving more civilizations into the arms of the human-led alliance. The narrative then shifted to a series of coordinated strikes against key Zorqual installations, orchestrated by the coalition. These operations showcased the potential of this new interstellar partnership, combining human ingenuity with the unique abilities of their allies. One such mission involved a joint human-Tarkelian team infiltrating a Zorqual command hub, resulting in a significant blow to the Empire's communication networks. As the coalition grew in strength and confidence, the galaxy watched in anticipation. The Zorqual, once perceived as invincible overlords, were now on the defensive, facing an unprecedented challenge to their rule. The stage was set for a conflict that would determine the future of the galaxy, not just for humanity, but for all civilizations yearning for freedom from tyranny. The coalition's momentum continued to build, turning what began as isolated sparks of resistance into a galaxy-wide inferno of rebellion against the Zorqual Empire. The unified front, with humanity at its vanguard, began to challenge the Zorqual in strategic locations, disrupting their supply lines, liberating oppressed systems, and gathering crucial intelligence that revealed cracks in the Zorqual's seemingly impenetrable facade. Amid this escalating conflict, a pivotal discovery was made. A joint reconnaissance mission uncovered the existence of a Zorqual superweapon capable of devastating entire planets. This grim revelation galvanized the coalition's resolve, underscoring the urgency of their mission to dismantle the Zorqual's oppressive regime. The campaign against the superweapon became the focal point of the coalition's efforts. A plan was devised, one that required precision, stealth, and unprecedented cooperation among the diverse members of the Alliance. Human engineers worked alongside alien technologists to create a device capable of neutralizing the superweapon, while fleets from multiple civilizations converged to form a blockade, diverting the Zorqual's attention and resources. As the operation commenced, the galaxy held its breath. The coalition's forces infiltrated the heavily fortified system where the superweapon was located, facing fierce resistance from the Zorqual's elite units. The narrative highlighted individual acts of bravery, a human pilot's daring maneuver, a Grixalian engineer's technical prowess, and a Tarkelian soldier's sacrifice, each contributing to the mission's success. In a climactic moment, the coalition's operatives managed to deploy the device, neutralizing the superweapon and dealing a critical blow to the Zorqual's strategic capabilities. The victory was celebrated across the galaxy, symbolizing a turning point in the war and demonstrating the power of unity against tyranny. The Zorqual, shaken by the loss of their superweapon and the growing strength of the coalition, began to fracture. Internal disputes and power struggles emerged as the once unquestioned supremacy of their empire started to crumble. The coalition, seizing the opportunity, launched a series of decisive strikes, liberating key systems and gaining valuable allies. As the narrative neared its climax, the focus shifted to the Zorqual homeworld, a planet shrouded in mystery and fortified beyond imagination. The coalition, aware that the true end of the war would require confronting the Zorqual at their source, prepared for the final battle. It would be a monumental task, requiring not just military might but the collective will and determination of every civilization in the Alliance. The final battle for the Zorqual homeworld was not just a clash of fleets and weapons, it was a culmination of years of struggle, a test of the Coalition's unity and the resolve of every being involved. As the Coalition forces approached, the Zorqual unleashed their full might, determined to defend their seat of power at any cost. The battle was intense, with both sides suffering heavy losses. Space around the Zorqual planet became a chaotic maelstrom of energy blasts, exploding ships, and desperate maneuvers. But the Coalition, driven by the collective desire for freedom and justice, fought with unyielding determination. On the ground, Coalition troops, including human soldiers, engaged in fierce combat against the Zorqual's ground forces. The fighting was brutal, with each side recognizing the stakes of this final confrontation. Amidst the chaos, acts of heroism and sacrifice shone brightly, embodying the spirit of the Coalition. In space, a daring maneuver by Captain Lucas Kim's squadron created an opening in the Zorqual's defenses, allowing a strike team to infiltrate the planet. Their mission was to disable the planetary defense grid, giving the Coalition forces a fighting chance. On the planet's surface, the strike team, consisting of elite operatives from various Coalition species, faced intense resistance. However, their coordinated efforts and mutual trust, forged in the fires of shared battles, allowed them to overcome the obstacles in their path. As the defense grid faltered, the tide turned. Coalition forces surged forward, overwhelming the Zorqual defenses. In a climactic moment, the Zorqual leadership, realizing their defeat was imminent, surrendered, marking the end of their tyrannical rule. The aftermath of the battle was a time of mixed emotions. Relief and joy at the victory were tempered by the sorrow for the fallen and the daunting task of rebuilding. The Zorqual homeworld, once a symbol of fear and oppression, became the site of a historic peace accord, facilitated by the Coalition. In the following days, the galaxy began to heal. Former Zorqual territories were liberated, and efforts were made to establish a new galactic order based on cooperation and mutual respect. Humanity, once an isolated and relatively unknown species, emerged as a key player on the interstellar stage, respected for their courage, ingenuity, and commitment to unity. As the new dawn broke over the galaxy, the Coalition members, humans, Grixalians, Tarkelians, and many others, stood together, not as conquerors, but as architects of a future filled with possibilities. They knew that the road ahead would be challenging, as the scars of war would not fade quickly, and the task of building a lasting peace was monumental. In the aftermath of the war, the galaxy was irrevocably changed. Planets lay in ruins, economies were shattered, and countless lives had been lost. Yet, amidst the devastation, there was a glimmer of hope. The coalition that had formed in opposition to the Zorqual Empire now faced the monumental task of rebuilding not just their worlds, but the very fabric of interstellar society. Humanity played a pivotal role in this new era. The same ingenuity and resilience that had been crucial in the war were now directed toward reconstruction and reconciliation. Earth, having been a central figure in the coalition, became a hub for diplomatic activity, hosting summits that brought together species from across the galaxy. These gatherings were not without their challenges. Differences in culture, language, and philosophy that had been set aside in the face of a common enemy now emerged as obstacles to unity. However, The shared experiences of the war and the common goal of creating a stable, peaceful galaxy fostered a spirit of cooperation. Economically, the galaxy was in a state of flux. The dismantling of the Zorqual Empire left a power vacuum, with various systems vying for control of resources and trade routes. Here, too, humanity stepped in, advocating for a fair and equitable economic system that would ensure the prosperity of all civilizations, not just the most powerful. The reconstruction of war-torn planets became a symbol of the galaxy's newfound solidarity. Humanitarian missions, composed of various species, worked side by side to rebuild cities, restore ecosystems, and heal communities. On these missions, former soldiers found new purpose, applying their skills to aid in the healing process. One poignant story that emerged during this time was that of a human engineer, Mia Zhang, who led a team on a mission to a planet that had been a battleground during the war. Working alongside local inhabitants and alien volunteers, they not only rebuilt the physical infrastructure, but also established cultural exchange programs, fostering understanding and friendship among former foes. Amidst the rebuilding, the scars of the war remained. Memorials were erected on countless worlds, honoring those who had fallen. These sites became places of reflection, reminding all of the cost of conflict and the value of peace. The galaxy also faced the challenge of integrating the Zorqual. After their surrender, many Zorqual individuals, stripped of their empire's ideology, sought to find their place in the new galactic order. Their integration was met with mixed reactions, but over time, many found ways to contribute positively to the galaxy's recovery, helping to heal the wounds of the past. In the years following the war and the reconstruction phase, the galaxy began to reflect on the legacies of the conflict, considering the lessons learned and the myths born from the epic struggle. Societies across various worlds engaged in introspection, analyzing the impact of the war on their cultures, philosophies, and futures. Academic institutions, now more interconnected than ever, collaborated on cross-species research projects to study the war's effects on galactic civilization. Historians, both human and alien, worked together to document the conflict, ensuring that the memories and lessons would not fade with time, but would serve as a beacon for future generations. One significant outcome of the post-war period was the establishment of the Galactic Council, a body representing all member civilizations, dedicated to maintaining peace, facilitating dialogue, and addressing shared challenges. Humanity played a crucial role in its formation, drawing on their experience of uniting diverse groups during the war. The Council worked on creating a shared legal framework, one that respected the sovereignty of each species while establishing norms and principles to govern interstellar interactions. This endeavor was challenging, given the vast diversity of cultures and values, but the shared desire to avoid a repeat of past conflicts drove the effort forward. On a more personal level, the stories of individuals who had lived through the war became a vital part of the collective memory. Veterans of the conflict, like Captain Lucas Kim, toured educational institutions, sharing their experiences not to glorify war, but to highlight the importance of understanding, empathy, and cooperation. Their first-hand accounts helped humanize the conflict, making the abstract horrors of war tangible for those who had not experienced it. Memorials and museums dedicated to the war sprung up across the galaxy, serving as places of reflection and learning. These sites often included exhibits on the history of the Zorqual Empire, the rise of the Coalition, and the pivotal battles. But they also focused on the aftermath and the efforts to build a peaceful and unified galaxy. One notable exhibit was the Garden of Worlds, a memorial on Earth that featured flora from every planet affected by the war, symbolizing the loss, resilience, and growth experienced by all. It became a place of pilgrimage for many, a space to mourn, remember, and hope. The cultural impact of the war was profound, influencing art, literature, and media. Stories of the conflict and its heroes, real and fictional, permeated the cultural landscape, shaping the galaxy's collective identity and values. With the establishment of a more unified galactic community, the collective focus of the galaxy's civilizations shifted from rebuilding and reconciliation to exploration and discovery. The end of the conflict and the formation of the Galactic Council opened new avenues for collaboration, sparking a renaissance in science, technology, and exploration. Humanity, with its newfound role as a galactic mediator and innovator, was at the forefront of this new age. The spirit of exploration that had once driven them to the stars was rekindled, now fueled by the possibility of uncovering the mysteries of the universe alongside their former adversaries and new allies. The first initiative in this new era was the launch of the Intergalactic Exploration Initiative, IEI, a collaborative project involving multiple species. The IEI's mission was to chart unexplored territories, study the cosmos's phenomena, and seek out new life and civilizations. The project embodied the galaxy's collective curiosity and thirst for knowledge, representing a shared journey into the unknown. Human explorers, scientists, and diplomats worked alongside their alien counterparts on state-of-the-art spacecraft equipped with technologies pooled from across the coalition. These vessels were not just machines. They were symbols of the galaxy's united aspirations, designed to traverse the vast expanses of space and uncover its secrets. One of the IEI's first missions led to the discovery of the Helix Nebula's mysteries, where an ancient, dormant space station was found, hinting at a long-lost civilization. Teams of archaeologists, linguists, and technologists worked together to unravel the station's secrets, uncovering technology and knowledge that could benefit all coalition members. Back on Earth and other worlds, the public followed these missions with bated breath, captivated by the stream of discoveries and the tales of cooperation and adventure. Schools incorporated these stories into their curricula, inspiring a new generation to dream of the stars and the possibilities they held. The age of exploration also saw the emergence of new cultural exchanges, as artists, writers, and thinkers from different worlds shared their perspectives and traditions, enriching each other's societies. Festivals, exhibitions, and conferences became common, celebrating the diversity and unity of the galactic community. Humanity's role in this era was not just as explorers, but as bridge builders, fostering a sense of shared destiny among the stars. The scars of the past were not forgotten, but they served as reminders of the importance of understanding, cooperation, and mutual respect. Years after the war, the galaxy had transformed into a vibrant tapestry of interstellar cooperation and exploration. The echoes of the conflict, however, remained in the collective memory of all civilizations, serving as a poignant reminder of the past struggles and the enduring spirit of those who fought for peace. The legacies of the war heroes, human and alien alike, continued to resonate throughout the galaxy. Their stories, preserved in various forms of art, literature, and digital archives, inspired countless individuals. Monuments and memorials across planets served as tangible links to the past, places where people could reflect on the sacrifices made for the greater good. One of the most significant legacies was the establishment of the Valor Institute, a collaborative initiative founded to study the principles of leadership, courage, and diplomacy that had emerged during the war. The institute became a center for learning and research, attracting scholars, students, and leaders from across the galaxy. The institute also hosted annual forums where veterans and current leaders shared their experiences and insights. These events were not just academic exercises, but opportunities to foster a sense of unity and shared history. Captain Lucas Kim, now retired, often spoke at these forums, sharing his journey and the lessons he learned about leadership, resilience, and the importance of understanding one's adversaries. In addition to fostering dialogue about the past, the galaxy also celebrated the present era of peace and collaboration. Annual galactic festivals brought together species from all corners of the cosmos, showcasing their cultures, technologies, and achievements. These events were a testament to the galaxy's diversity and the strength that came from its unity. One poignant tradition that emerged was the Day of Remembrance, observed galaxy-wide to honor those who had fallen during the war. On this day, lights dimmed on spaceships and planets as a minute of silence was observed, followed by the sharing of stories and the celebration of the peace that those sacrifices had secured. In the backdrop of these commemorations, humanity continued to play a pivotal role in the galactic community. Earth and other human colonies were often seen as neutral grounds where diplomatic dialogues and peace talks occurred, reflecting humanity's reputation as mediators and peacemakers. As the galaxy moved forward, the alliance that had been forged in the crucible of war evolved into a sophisticated multi-species coalition known as the Galactic Guardians. This organization, with humanity playing a central role, was not just a military force but a symbol of the galaxy's collective commitment to peace, exploration, and mutual protection. The Guardians' mission extended beyond mere defense against external threats. They became instrumental in mediating interstellar disputes, providing humanitarian aid, and overseeing the safe exploration of uncharted territories. Their presence reassured civilizations, ensuring that the dark days of the Zorqual Empire's tyranny would not return. Humanity's contribution to the Guardians was significant. Drawing on their experience and the respect they had earned during the war, humans were often seen as neutral arbitrators in conflicts. Their diplomatic corps renowned for their ability to understand and reconcile diverse perspectives. Technological advancements, shared freely among the coalition members, propelled the Guardians into a new era of space exploration and defense. Innovations in faster-than-light travel, energy production, and AI, much of it developed in collaborative research centers, allowed the Guardians to protect and connect the farthest reaches of the galaxy. The Guardians also played a key role in responding to natural disasters and other crises, showcasing the coalition's commitment to solidarity and mutual aid. When a catastrophic event threatened a member world, the Guardians' fleets were among the first to respond, coordinating rescue and relief efforts, and demonstrating the tangible benefits of interstellar cooperation. The cultural impact of the Guardians was profound. Their emblem became a universal symbol of hope and unity, celebrated in art, literature, and media across the galaxy. Children from countless worlds grew up with tales of the Guardians' valor and the importance of standing together in the face of adversity. Despite the vastness of their responsibilities, the Guardians remained deeply committed to their foundational principle, that the strength of the galaxy lay in its diversity and unity. This ethos was embodied in their oath, taken by every member, pledging to defend the galaxy's freedom and to respect the sovereignty and dignity of all its inhabitants. As the galaxy entered a new epoch under the watchful guidance of the Galactic Guardians, the collective gaze of its myriad civilizations turned toward the future, a horizon brimming with possibilities and uncharted realms. Humanity, once isolated on the fringe of the cosmic stage, now found itself at the heart of a grand interstellar symphony, playing a key role in shaping the galaxy's destiny. The spirit of exploration, a fundamental trait that had propelled humanity into the stars, was now a shared characteristic of the galactic community. The final frontier expanded, with new technologies and collaborative ventures pushing the boundaries of known space. The mysteries of the universe beckoned, offering not just knowledge, but the promise of encountering new civilizations and forging alliances based on mutual respect and shared aspirations. Earth, a planet once ravaged by its own conflicts, had transformed into a beacon of diplomacy and cultural exchange. Alien delegates, scholars, and tourists frequented its cities, each bringing a piece of their world and leaving with a bit of Earth's culture, creating a vibrant tapestry of interstellar unity. Humanity's cultural heritage, from art to cuisine, intermingled with alien traditions, giving rise to new forms of expression that transcended planetary boundaries. In this new age of exploration and collaboration, the future was unwritten, a canvas upon which the galaxy's myriad civilizations would paint a story of their collective journey. Beyond the horizon lay not just new worlds and mysteries, but the ongoing evolution of a galaxy where unity and diversity was the guiding star, illuminating the path toward a shared and prosperous future.